All right, welcome, Waka. All right, Thunder, to another episode of Kick-Ass. You've got myself here, Nate Ravello. We've got the best-looking Mancini, Luigi. How you doing, big guy?
Luigi, what's going on, boss? Huh? Oh, look who it is. It's Big Nate Rock.
How you doing? How you doing?
Swell, man.
You
Swell.
doing swell? All right. You want to talk some kickball?
Let's talk kickball.
All right, let's talk kickball.
Let's piss people off.
That should be the motto of the show. Let's piss people off. First of all, we've got 17-2 against DTF. Do it for the kids, 13-3 over Guacamole. Sick Kickers, 16-4 against Kicking It Old School. PFK, 12-6 against Ballaside. Tommy's in Balls Deep, setting a brand new score in our league. 0-0 has never happened before. And
We shut them out.
You did shut them out, and they shut you out, and I called a tie, so everyone wins, or you all don't. SK over DTF 5-2. Big Vic, what do you see?
What do I see? I'm looking down these scores, man. What is this? 17-2 over DTF. I refed that game.
I head refed it.
You head refed it. I base refed it. I had almost nothing to do with third base when DTF was up. They're out to lunch. They're out to lunch, buddy. I don't know what's going on over there, but if they were working for me, I would have fired them already. We got Do It for the Kids against Guacamole. I mean, Do It for the Kids. They're a great team this year, from what we understand. And they're playing well. They finally put it together, and Guacamole is just the most, if this is a word, the funnest team in the league.
Not.
Sick Kickers covering my prop bet. I said 8 over 18 runs, much to your displeasure, and then you happened to think it was a good idea when you considered it.
First mistake ever.
Kicking It Old School. The dual shutout game. I think that there was only 2 points for each team in that game when each side did not go 3 up and 3 down. They had one runner reach. I don't believe they never had a runner reach second, and we had a runner reach third only once. And it was not. It was a first to third, so we never had someone on second either. Next, we got Sick Kickers against DTF. Again, DTF, they're probably still sleeping. And then PFK, doing what you guys do. Nate, how the hell did you guys give up 6 runs? I thought you guys were solid.
We are solid. There were definitely a few mistakes. I can definitely own up to 1 or 2 of those runs. One of those, I swear I tagged the guy out at home. He was called safe. Ballaside told me he was out, so whatever. But there was some on me. Ballaside, to my surprise, is not bad. I'm not going to go out and say they are really good. They're a top contender. But I'm going to give them, they are not bad. They kept it close for a while. It was actually a 2-run game going into the 4th inning. Then we put a few more on. We didn't kick great. We didn't field great. But I think we're capable of better. But I'm impressed with Ballaside. They have some players. Their catcher's good, and they got runners on. They had decent bunts at the top of their order. If they could do that throughout their entire batting lineup, they could do some real damage. But they've definitely gone up in my book.
So Nate, what happens when Ballaside plays DTF? Who wins that game?
You're gonna hear me say that. You're gonna hear my prediction later. But definitely foreshadowed what I'm going to say. Some other games I want to talk about. Speaking of DTF, 1 versus DTF. You okay?
Yeah, we're on the edge of our seats over here. Wait, we're on the edge of our seats. Wait for your.
No, 1 versus DTF. I've got to say, DTF. I called you out, Victor, right at the start of that game, saying your lock of the week, I believe, was 1 over DTF to cover.
Yes.
And
yes,
when we showed up and we saw that Rob, which I would say is their best player, they've got some good definitely some other good players in the team, but I would say Rob's their best player, isn't there. I said, Vic, you might not cover here. And then they still absolutely blew them out 17-2. And it just leaves me saying, like, DTF, what are you? Where are you? Is it did they leave with Jim to Philly? Is this it? Is this the DTF that is now? This is Taste the Rainbow quality.
For those they might want to change. I think they might want to change their name to DTL, down to last.
Wow, that's pretty good. Well, they can get down to first doesn't mean they're safe, so they can still get down to first. Anyway,
hey, I gotta say though, one was kind of a different team. I don't know if because with Rob there, they tend to be a little more intense. It looked like they were a lot more laid back. I also think that they did some things they don't normally do. Like I felt like the first inning or two, the DTF kind of was in the game a little bit.
It was close in the first few. Well, actually, you know what happened, Vic? It was the first inning. There were 2 outs, and then there was just errors, and I can't remember how many. I think they scored 5 runs with 2 outs and no one on. I know Drew got out on his first at bat, and I think the next person got out, and the next person after. There was 2 outs, and they scored all of their first inning runs with 2 outs. And they weren't all great kicks. It was Phil who got out. Phil was the third kicker, I think.
Yeah, shout out to Phil. He was running the team in Rob's absence.
No, it was Drew. It was Drew.
Drew was running the team?
Drew set everything up.
Oh, okay. Well, because
yeah.
Most of my interactions were with Phil, and Phil was
no.
It seemed like he had a laid-back approach.
I thought that was a great officiated game, though, Vic. I think we did an awesome job.
It was fantastic. I never had to make one call at third base.
You're welcome. All right. Some other things? SK finally put it together. 16-4. I can't say much. Kicking it old school is just they're still in that learning phase, and it's tough. But beating DTF 5-2, I don't know what that says because neither team has impressed, and that's a close game, so that doesn't tell me much. But Tommy's in balls deep, 0-0. You guys have some great kickers. I don't understand how that happens. I mean, Joey's a phenomenal pitcher. Steve's a great pitcher. But 0 runs on them? What happened?
No love? What about no love for Jose?
Well, I'm gonna get to Jose. I'm just asking you about your at bats. Jose's a phenomenal. He's a phenomenal pitcher as well. He's a top 5 in the league. But
what you know what it was?
Was it great pitching or was it fielding and bad kicking?
It was both. It was absolutely both. It was basically, if you look at the game, they had their best 3 between charger, catcher, and pitcher, and we had our best 3 between charger, pitcher, and catcher. So in situational kickball, you guys coming up in bunting, if you can't outrun that bunt, each team kind of played into the other team's hands where we were putting the ball where the best players are. Mm-hmm. Some people would say that that's probably not productive kickball, but it's kind of the way you manufacture runs in this league. Kicking away every time, unless you're going to have someone that can directional kick and put it in a gap or put a line drive down, isn't going to make much of a difference. And it's even more difficult to do something like that against those pitchers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, this game could have gone another 6 innings, 7 innings, and been still 0-0.
It's impressive because just shut out teams with that good of kickers it just shows how good the fielding was and how good the pitching was. Because regardless of how good your fielding is, it's not. Are you okay, Vic? Is there a fire? Do you need to leave?
Hold on a second.
I can still talk, but it's impressive because even with great pitching, if you don't have the fielding behind it, there's not really anything you can do, because with an easy pitch, you can put a bunt down that no one will get. That's it for the review. Let's move on. You wanted to talk about some things, Vic. What was on your mind?
Yeah, we got to talk about a couple of things. The first one is, and I think what's really something that's been overlooked. I think that Margie, of course, she's doing everything she can to make sure the league is run well, that she's open ears, kind of open door policy to people's suggestions, and putting the head ref role in effect has been very effective, and it's been helpful. But I think we're missing the boat on an important position, and that's the first base ref. Unfortunately, when we have the head ref position, teams are still just picked at random to put players in position to do the first and third base. Unfortunately, the right people aren't getting in that position. I mean, and nothing against the person who did our game, but she even had one a play that was overturned by the home plate ref, and there were honestly every single play at first was out. She never called a save, and there was one that shouldn't have gone our way. It was the one safe that she did call. She shouldn't have gone our way, did, and then we had to have another one overturned. I really think this is something that needs to be looked at. I think that the person who's playing first base, it's always a bang play, especially when you have two good defensive teams. It's important that play is right, because one base runner can make the difference from a 0-0 game to a 1-0 game, going either way.
Absolutely. How do you fix that though? Because as it is, we're already relying on our top players. Gee, Victor, is everything okay? We may have lost Victor in the fire. You're okay, big guy? You good?
Good, dude. My tuna casserole's almost done.
Ooh,
how you doing?
That's my least favorite food there is.
It's not really a tuna casserole. It's cod. It's big stuffed cod.
Anyway, what I'm saying is,
I only like to eat fish, Nate. I only eat fish here.
All right, God, you're disgusting. Anyway, as I was saying, we're already using the main players, the players that use enough to head refs. It's a lot of responsibility that is falling on the same people, and I'm loving that Margie's been passing out the drink tickets to these head refs. But how do you solve that problem of having competent, and not just competent, but people who have played a while and know at first? Because it stinks, and I'm not going to lie, I've had to ref quite a bit over the last few seasons, and it's tough because you have to get there, you have to be there for both time slots. You can't really drink with your friends. And then if you start drinking while you're reffing, people are complaining about that. So how do you fix that? I don't think it's anything. I don't know what Margie can do to make that better, if she can't do anything.
Well, I mean, you bring up a good point. You know, if you're going to present an issue, you should present a solution. You know, and I believe that too. So my idea is that each team needs to designate people to do the base reffing, and it can't just be, hey, listen, we need someone, you got to show up. It's got to be someone who is has a general knowledge of the game, understands I mean, we have people that are calling.
But some teams can't do that.
Know. Oh, well, I mean, if that's the case, then we could have said that we couldn't have had a head ref. I mean, we were able to figure that out. I mean, when my team has to ref a game, there's 4 people that do it: Tom Stad, myself, Jose, and Dan. Those are the 4 people from my team that are always reffing every game. I mean, there's been a couple other times where someone else has filled in. So I'm sure that there's every team in the league that's got 4 people that can step up and that are competent enough to take that.
I don't agree with. I mean, there's some new teams. There's teams that have never played or seen kickball before this season, and there are people from those teams that are stepping up. But it's tough to just get thrown into that right away. And I'm not trying to. I'm basically being devil's advocate here, just trying to figure out the best way to do this. But I see teams that don't have those players. And then it's not fair. Like, your team has to provide 2 head refs and then 2 refs to do base coaches. You're getting 4 players from your team. My team, Sean's doing a head reffing half the weeks. I'm doing them a lot of weeks, and then we have to supply 2 refs, and it's the same people. And I feel bad that I got to keep going to those people because they want to do other things. It's not that fun to ref. I don't get any enjoyment.
I totally agree with you. I think, in fact, that I was, Tom's the other one. Did I say Tom right? But anyway, I think that I was telling you about a week ago, I was bitching about how I needed to have 4 people at the field before our 7:30 game to rep a 6:30 game. And 6:30, as it is a very difficult time with traffic. It sucks. Sucks trying to get to that field. Especially if you don't live in Pawtucket or on that side, in that side of North 95, north of Providence.
Or work in Pawtucket,
But, I mean, for the people, by the people, Nate, I mean, perhaps teams that are new to the league should be relieved from reffing duties. I would rather have the right people reffing and the right calls take place and then in turn have to get there, say, half the weeks early to make sure that happens than have the wrong people there, because nobody wins in that situation. You have a ref that is, like a deer in headlights when they make the wrong call and they're getting barked up by both sides of the,
which you don't want either. Like, regardless of how bad a call is, like, you don't want to make someone feel awful about themselves. And I can be guilty of that. I've definitely done that. I've done that to Stat last season where I was so angry about a call, and I absolutely overreacted. And it's just no one wants that. It's but also you want the correct call. So I'm not sure. I mean, I think Margie has a tough call. I mean, she doesn't want to keep going back to the well and back to the well and going to the same people because you get burnt out. I know some people really like reffing. I think Rob's one of those. I think Phil really likes it, but I'm not someone who enjoys it because I'd hang out with a group of people rather than absolutely have to focus on every single play.
Totally agree with you because I'm not a big fan of it either. But. Yeah. Especially when, not for nothing, I get a game like one in DTF where only one team showed up. And you're sitting there just, and the other team's kicking the ball all over the field. Mm-hmm. And, and it's a situation where you're like, okay, what are you more concerned with? Your theme music or winning a kickball game or even being competitive for that matter. So that's even more discouraging because now I busted my ass to get there. And it's great to, have a good game. And now you have a shitty game on top of it. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. The point of the matter is we need to have, it needs to be considered. It needs to be looked at. I think that the head ref position is almost like probably 90% as important is that first base ref position.
At first base, I mean, third base you can get away with there's not as many calls. You're watching encroachment more than anything. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because we got a lot more to do. Maybe my only suggestion was keep teams together or keep teams that are like really good friends with each other. Is I really enjoy. My experience is much better when I'm reffing with you guys last week, Victor, or when I get to ref on my own team. I don't know we used to ref with our teams, and that was good because you got to talk to your teams, talk about the games in between innings. Now, I mean, I'll talk to these people I don't know that well, and I want to socialize with them, but it's not the same. And it's nice to be with your team because then if you're playing it the next time you just played, your team's hanging out around you. So maybe that's something that can help the case. But that's all I got on reffing, and then I want to move on to the lines. Anything else you got?
That's it. I mean, we exhausted this issue. We talked about the this base reffing stuff enough. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I did want to ask you one question though.
Oh, I do have. Actually, I want to say one more thing on the reffing. I know I said the last thing. Sorry.
That's what I want to ask you.
Oh, yeah. What?
That's what I want to ask you.
Yes, go.
I want you to tell me who do you think is the second worst team in the league? Because I think we all know that at the bottom of the league is a new team maybe. Who do you think is the second worst team in the league?
Before I answer that question, because I'm excited to answer that question.
You look excited.
Is my advice to refs, regardless of the call, if there's any controversy, get together and talk about it, and then come up with a call with each other. If you do that, teams can't complain, or they can complain, but they won't mean as much. Get together and make a call together. There's nothing worse than when a first base ref is saying safe, and then the home ref is saying out, and then there's this arguing that's going on there. Get together, voice your opinion, and then the head ref makes the final call. My second worst team. This was tough. Kicking it old school. I'm sorry, you were that bottom team. You're learning. Maybe next season you move up. But it was between two teams. It's between Whack-A-Mole and it's between DTF right now. Ball aside, if you asked me last week, would have been my pick with Whack-A-Mole kind of in there. But no, they impressed me. They move up. I think they're above both. I have not seen Whack-A-Mole, but I did just see DTF get absolutely slaughtered by a Robless 1 team. And that's one of the reasons why DTF. They've just been getting crushed. They got crushed by Tommies, and they lost to Kicking It Old, not Kicking It Old, so Deal for the Kids. Whack-A-Mole's the only other team that I can see that may lose to them, and but that's it. That DTF is mine. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Disagree? Am I way off in saying that?
Nah, I mean, I think that if we're gonna look at performance here, I mean, they just haven't shown up. They have not shown up, and I don't want to make this team think that I hate them because I don't. But the point here is that more is expected of them than Ball Aside, than Whack-A-Mole, than kicking it old school. We expect more because you've been around. And when I think of that team, I think about James Mallon. I think about Johannes on that team. I think about Marlon is on.
Yeah, who is a decent pitcher. He's not bad by any means. It's not there.
I mean, they have great players and players that have been in the league for a long period of time. but I'm watching them miss pop-ups in the infield. It's like they still don't have people in the right positions, but they have their theme music going, and they're always, they're all in unison for theme night. But that is not my second worst team in the league. I think that if you matched DTF up against Guacamole, I think that they would have an easy time with them. As much as Guacamole has improved, DTF would wipe the floor with Guacamole. I also think they would do the same thing with was kicking it old school.
Ball aside.
I think ball aside.
Kicking old school is the bottom team. I said that.
Yes. So kicking it old school, they're going to have no problem with. I think Guacamole, they have no problem with. I think the battle this week between DTF and ball aside is the battle for the third worst, the third and fourth worst team in the league.
I have not seen Guacamole even a little bit. I have not seen them. I don't think I've seen them in anything. I've seen them at the bar killing it there. But I have not seen them, so that could definitely, my opinion could change there, but it's between them. What I saw from Bola side tells me they're better than DTF. They both have really good catchers. Respect, I can't remember Bola side's catcher's name, but he's a good player, and Derek's obviously really good. He's their best player in my opinion. But other than that, I'm just not impressed with what I saw. All right, that's it for topics. Let's move on to the lines. I've got Balls Deep at 13.5 run favorites against Kicking It Old School. Sick Kickers 5.5 against Guacamole. PFK 1.5 over 1. Ball aside. DTF is 1.5 favorites against Ball aside. Tommy's is 3.5 favorites against Do It for the Kids, and 1 is a half-run favorite against Balls Deep. Starting off with, I'm sorry, I misread the first one. Balls Deep is 14.5 run favorites against Kicking It Old School. Line was changed last minute.
So was the SK line, correct?
Yeah, that's 6.5. Sorry.
All right, so
just one. We'll go one at a time this week.
One at a time. I'm going to take Balls Deep to cover without a problem there against Kicking It Old School. I'll lay the 14.5.
I agree. Don't need to say much on that. All right, Sick Kickers 6.5 run favorites against Guacamole.
Sick Kickers to cover. I'll lay the 6.5.
It's really hard for me to Guacamole. I don't know you, but you have not played well. Sick Kickers I'll take to cover. PFK 1.5 against 1.
I'm going to take PFK. That one team we saw last week, despite Rob not being there, I think that you might be able to grab a win there, and maybe I see that game could potentially even be something like a 6-3 game or a 6-2 game. You guys win.
I think we win. I think it's going to be close because it always is against them, but I'll take us to win by 3 runs. DTF 1.5 run favorites against Ball side.
Comes down to the wire. I can see this one ending in the bottom of the 7th. I am going to take Ball side only because DTF has not shown me that I can't put my money on DTF right now, not until they've proven themselves.
I agree. Ball side wins that game. Tommy's 3.5 against the undefeated Do It for the Kids.
Another good game. I'm going to say Tommy's, though. I'm going to say this is one of those games where Tommy's experience and defense is going to be something very difficult for Kicking It Old School to overcome. They probably haven't seen a team this skilled yet this season, and I'm going to say Tommy's wins that game easily. I'm going to say by better than 4 runs.
Tommy's wins. They win by more than that. We're agreeing way too much. Do It for the Kids is good. They are my 5th best team in the league, but Tommy's is better, and they're going to put it on. Last game, we have 1 as half-run favorite against Balls Deep. I'll go first here since I'm not on either of those teams. My opinion this year is that Balls Deep is the better team. Therefore, if Vegas is giving me the line, giving me a half run, I'm going to take it.
Vegas is in, baby. Listen, Balls Deep, man. I'm not going to go any other way with this one. Balls Deep. There's only one team that's. I think that. I'm trying to say. I think that we were the first team to beat them in the league.
I believe. I don't know. Did you beat them in the first season?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
We tied them in the first season.
I think I'm getting someone's grabbing me here. What's going on, buddy? Oh, Luigi wants to talk. What's the matter? Oh, he's gonna talk. He's got the pick of the week. Look, see, he wants to talk to. All right. Oh, I dropped the pick of the week. Hold on here. Hold on. Luigi's got the pick of the week. That's what he's doing. All right, sit, buddy. See what we got here for my lock of the week. There it is. Can you see it? Sick Kickers, lock of the week.
Which game was that? Sick Kickers is 6.5.
6.5 over Guacamole. And I'm going to say that Sick Kickers can double that line.
Double.
They can. I'm not going to lay more than 6.5, but they have the ability to. We could be talking next week, next Tuesday, next Wednesday, and we could be talking about how Sick Kickers beat Guacamole 15-1.
So I just checked my stats here, and one went undefeated that year. They had 2 ties, one against us, and I'm assuming one against you guys. So I would say that you are not, unless you beat them the following season. But I think they only have. I think we beat them that season. That was it. But I'm not sure. No, I think we did give them their. We gave them their first loss.
Okay, so
But they went undefeated that first season and won the championship. So no one beat them in that spring 2014. Their first loss was spring 2004. Sorry, yeah, spring 2014 was their first season. Okay. That's all the games. We're gonna go quick through the props. Get this show going. Closest game of the week. What do you got?
Closest game of the week is going to be. I'm going to say PFK 1.
I'm gonna go with Ball-A-Side DTF. That's my closest game. One plays 2 of the top teams in the league with Balls Deep and PFK. How many runs do they score in total?
I'm going to say they score 6 runs.
6. I think they score a little more
I'm
than
going to
that.
say 6 because you gave up 6 to Ball-A-Side, so you're going to give up 6 to 1.
And you're going to shut them out. I will take that bet, whatever you want to put on it. I say they score 9. I think they score like 6 in your game and 3 in mine. Next one I got. Do It For The Kids plays against Tommy's. Joey is the leadoff for Tommy's, as far as I know. I don't know if that's changed. Does Joey score the first run of that game?
No.
You're taking anyone else?
Correct.
I'm going to take Joey to score it. Don't
You
move
think
him
Joey
out.
scores the first run?
I think Joey scores that first run, and please don't move him in the lineup.
Joey leads off. Joey leads off. He gets thrown out trying to get to third in a miraculous play. In the year 2000.
You're a mess.
You don't remember Conan, do you?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I keep forgetting you're 13, Nate.
13. I turning 14 soon. All right, Victor, you got anything else for the people before I give you some for some trivia?
Sure, I love trivia. You know who loves trivia more than me? Luigi.
Luigi. All right, my prop for you, Victor, is I want you to name me the top 5 teams in our second season. Our second season was spring 2013. I want you to see if you can name me the top 5 teams.
The top 5 teams in the second season.
Second season.
All right, so here we go. PFK.
1 point.
Balls Deep.
2 points.
Yoko.
3 points.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna give you 10 seconds, Victor.
Yeah, give me 10 seconds.
5.
That's it. That's all I got, man. I can't think of any other teams.
You're not gonna give me a guess?
Give me a hint. Give me a hint. Give me a player.
I'm not gonna give you a player. You got 3 points out of a possible 5. You can look at your catcher for one of the other teams.
Ball Me Baby.
Ball Me Maybe, and then Lily's original team, New Kicks on the Block. Only played 1 season. That one I didn't expect you to get, but Ball Me Maybe I did, so we're going to call that the Victor Failure of the Week. That will do it for me. Victor, say goodbye. Luigi, say bye. Good night.
Say bye, buddy.
That's it.